You're working hard. You're putting in the effort. You're doing everything right, but you're still not getting the results you deserve. Here's the brutal truth. You're not failing because you're not good enough. You're failing because of one brain pattern that's been running in the background your entire life, and you have absolutely no idea it exists. In the next 8 minutes, I'm going to reveal exactly what this pattern is, why your brain created it, and most importantly, how to shut it down permanently. So stay with me. Imagine this. Your brain has a hidden security system. It was designed to protect you, to keep you safe, to prevent you from being hurt. But here's what most people don't understand. This protection system doesn't just stop you from getting hurt, it stops you from getting everything. It stops you from reaching out to that person. It stops you from asking for the raise. It stops you from sharing your ideas. It stops you from stepping into the spotlight. And the most dangerous part? You don't even realize it's happening. You just feel stuck, paralyzed, like something invisible is holding you back. That invisible force is this one brain pattern. Most people will never figure this out, but by the end of this video, you will understand exactly how your brain has been working against you, and more importantly, how to finally work with your brain instead of against it. It's called the avoidance loop, and it's one of the most powerful neural patterns in your brain. Here's how it works. Your brain constantly detects threats, not just physical threats, psychological threats, social threats, threats to your ego, threats to your identity. When your brain detects these threats, it activates something called the amygdala, your fear center. And when the amygdala is activated, your brain has 3 options: fight, flight, or freeze. Most of us, especially people who struggle with success, choose the third option, freeze. Or, more accurately, we choose avoidance. We avoid the conversation. We avoid the risk. We avoid the visibility. We avoid anything that might trigger fear or rejection. And here's where it gets dangerous. Every single time we avoid, our brain learns something new. It learns that avoidance works. It learns that avoidance feels safe. It learns that avoidance is the right strategy. So it reinforces the pattern. It strengthens the neural pathways. And before you know it, you've got a deep, entrenched avoidance habit that controls every major decision in your life. But here's the neuroscience nobody talks about. Your brain is not trying to sabotage you. It's trying to protect you. The problem is, the threat it's trying to protect you from is imaginary. It's ancient. It's from your childhood, and it's completely wrong about what's actually dangerous in your adult life. Let me explain why your brain created this pattern in the first place. To understand why this pattern exists, we need to go back to your childhood. Picture this. You're a kid. You're vulnerable. You're dependent on adults for everything: food, shelter, safety, love, belonging. Now, something happens. Maybe a parent criticized you. Maybe a teacher humiliated you. Maybe a sibling rejected you. Maybe you experienced actual abandonment or rejection. It could have been something small. It could have felt huge. But here's what your young brain did with that information. Your brain created a threat assessment. It said, okay, if I try to do this thing, if I put myself out there, if I risk being visible or vulnerable, I could be rejected. I could be hurt. I could be abandoned. And abandonment means death. Because for a child, abandonment literally is a threat to survival. A child alone in the world dies. So your brain made a decision, a protective decision. It said, never again, never risk it, avoid visibility, avoid vulnerability, avoid being seen. And for a while, that pattern worked. It kept you safe. It protected you from getting hurt. But here's the problem. You're not that child anymore. You're an adult. You can take care of yourself. You can handle rejection. You can recover from failure. But your brain is still operating from that childhood blueprint. It's still using that old protective strategy. And that strategy that once kept you safe is now keeping you small, stuck, and sabotaged. Let me give you some real-world examples of what this looks like. Example 1. The ambitious professional. Sarah's an incredible project manager. She's intelligent, creative, competent. Her boss has hinted multiple times that she'd be perfect for a leadership role. There's a promotion available. She's the obvious choice. But she doesn't apply. Why? Because her brain detects the threat. More visibility, more scrutiny, more people depending on you, more chances to fail publicly. Her avoidance loop activates. She finds reasons not to apply. She tells herself she's not ready. She tells herself maybe next year. But next year comes and nothing changes, because the pattern is still running. Example 2. The entrepreneur who can't scale. James has a successful small business. He's built it to 6 figures through sheer hustle. But to grow it further, he needs to hire people, delegate, and put himself out there more. Speeches, networking, visibility. His brain panics. Avoidance loop activates. So instead of scaling, he works himself into exhaustion. He burns out. He sabotages his own success because growth means visibility, and visibility means potential judgment and rejection. Example 3. The talented creator. Maya is an incredible writer. Her work is good. It could help thousands of people. But she never publishes. She never shares. She keeps her work in a folder on her computer. Her avoidance loop: if I publish, people will judge it. They'll judge me. They'll see that I'm not as good as I think I am, and that rejection will confirm my fear that I'm a fraud. So she doesn't risk it. She stays safe. She stays invisible, and her gift never reaches the world. Do you see yourself in any of these examples? Because I'm going to tell you something. The avoidance loop isn't a character flaw. It's not laziness. It's not lack of ambition. It's a protective mechanism that became a prison. And the good news? Prisons can be unlocked. Sit up, speak with conviction. Now here's the transformation part. Here's how you reprogram this pattern and finally break free. There are 5 steps, and I'm going to walk you through each one. Step 1. Awareness. Name the pattern. The first step is to recognize when the avoidance loop is activating. Notice when you feel that pull to not do something. Notice when you're making excuses. Notice when you're telling yourself you're not ready. Notice when you're delaying. That's the avoidance loop activating. Your job is simple. Name it. Say to yourself, this is the avoidance loop. This is my brain trying to protect me from an imaginary threat. Why does naming it matter? Because the moment you name it, you create distance from it. It's no longer you. It's a pattern running in your brain, and patterns can be changed. I am not my avoidance. I am the person who is aware of the avoidance. This awareness is the foundation of everything that comes next. Step 2. Understanding. Know why your brain created it. Now that you're aware of the pattern, ask yourself, when did this start? When was the first time your brain decided that visibility or vulnerability or risk was dangerous? It might be a specific memory. It might be a pattern of experiences. But there's a reason this pattern exists. Your brain created it to protect you. Here's the powerful part. When you understand the origin, you stop blaming yourself for it. You're not broken. You're not lazy. You're not a failure. You're someone whose brain learned a protective strategy that's now outdated. That's powerful because it means you can update it. My brain learned this. My brain can learn something new. Step 3. The exposure practice. Small steps into safety. This is where most people fail. They know they have the pattern. They understand why. But then they try to jump straight from total avoidance to bold action. That doesn't work. Your nervous system doesn't trust that shift. Instead, you need to use something called exposure therapy. It's one of the most evidence-based psychological techniques for rewiring fear patterns. Here's how it works. Create a hierarchy of the thing you're avoiding. Let's say you're avoiding visibility. Your hierarchy might look like: tell one trusted friend about your ideas, easiest. Share your work with a small group of supportive people. Post your work on social media with a small following. Share your work with a larger audience. Do a presentation or speak publicly, hardest. Now here's the key. Start with the easiest step. Don't jump to the hardest. Start with step 1. Do it. Notice that you survive it. Notice that the catastrophe your brain predicted doesn't happen. This teaches your brain a new lesson. Hey, visibility didn't kill me. In fact, it felt kind of good. Then move to step 2. Then step 3. Each small exposure rewires your brain. Each time you don't avoid, you're literally building new neural pathways that say, I can handle this. I am safe.
The magic isn't in the big leap. The magic is in the small, consistent steps that reprogram your entire nervous system. Step 4. Reframing. Change the story you tell yourself. Your brain has been telling you a story about visibility and vulnerability. The story is usually something like, if I'm visible, I'll be judged. If I'm vulnerable, I'll be hurt. If I risk it, I'll fail. If I fail, I'm a failure. These stories are running on repeat in your unconscious mind, and your behavior follows these stories. So we need to update the story. The new story needs to be just as powerful, but in the opposite direction. Instead of, if I'm visible, I'll be judged, try, if I'm visible, I'll be seen. And being seen is how I help people. Being seen is how I build real connections. Being seen is how I create real impact. Instead of, if I risk it, I'll fail, try, if I risk it, I'll learn. And every person who ever succeeded failed many times. Failure is just data. Failure is feedback. Write these new stories down. Put them somewhere you'll see them every day. Read them out loud. Make them real. The more you repeat the new story, the more your brain will accept it as true. And when your brain believes the new story, your behavior changes. Step 5. Consistency. Make it a daily practice. Here's the truth that separates people who change from people who don't. Consistency. You can't reprogram your brain with one brave action. You reprogram it through daily practice. So here's what I want you to do. Every single day, do one thing that activates your avoidance loop and don't avoid it. It could be reaching out to one person, sharing one piece of your work, saying one thing you'd normally stay quiet about, taking one step toward the thing you're scared of. Just one. Daily. Over 30 days, that's 30 small exposures. Over 90 days, that's 90 times your brain learns that visibility is safe. Over a year, that's 365 times you've rewired your nervous system. The compound effect is massive. Your brain didn't create this pattern overnight. It's been reinforcing it for years, maybe decades. So you won't reprogram it overnight either. But with daily consistency, you'll see changes in weeks. You'll notice you're speaking up more. You're taking more risks. You're putting yourself out there more. And the results that were impossible before suddenly become inevitable. That's the 5-step process. Awareness, understanding, exposure, reframing, consistency. Follow this process and I guarantee you, you will break the avoidance loop. Here's what I want you to understand as we wrap up. You're not failing because you're not capable. You're failing because your brain is running an outdated protection program. But now you know what it is. Now you understand why it exists, and now you have the tools to reprogram it. The person you're meant to become, the successful version of you, the visible version of you, the impactful version of you, that person is already inside you. She's not waiting to become smarter. He's not waiting to become more talented. They're not waiting to become more worthy. They're waiting for your brain to stop protecting them from success. And now you have the power to make that happen. If this video resonated with you, if you recognized your own avoidance loop in these examples, I want to ask you to do something. Subscribe to this channel. Not because I want numbers, but because I'm going to keep giving you content like this. Content that goes deep. Content that actually changes how your brain works. Content that turns insight into action. When you subscribe, you're committing to yourself. You're saying, I'm worth reprogramming. I'm worth breaking free from these old patterns. And that commitment, that's what changes everything. Also, comment below. Tell me, what's the avoidance loop you're ready to break? What's the thing you've been putting off? What's the visibility you've been hiding from? Your comment might be the thing that helps someone else recognize their own pattern. Your honesty might be someone's breakthrough. So share it. You've got this. Your brain is powerful. And now that you understand how it works, you can use that power for yourself instead of against yourself. I'll see you in the next video.